Am I the asshole for calling my friend desperate and leaving her by herself? I, 21 female, used to date this guy, Connor, 25. Connor and I met through some mutual friends and dated for around 7 or 8 months. He broke up with me and immediately moved on with one of my best friends, Millie, 28. It was hard to watch and it strained my relationship with Millie for a while. She'd constantly remind me they were dating, and at the time it was hurtful. However, during that time I met my current boyfriend Matt, 21. After Matt, the comments stopped meaning anything and I was able to fully accept things. My feelings for Connor disappeared and eventually I was able to fully move on and be happy. I mended my relationship with Millie as well. I now live with Matt after about a year together. I wasn't able to introduce him to everyone, but I got around to it a few months ago. The moment I introduced Matt, Millie began making the weirdest comments. Things like, "Ooh, op, you and I have very similar tastes," and, "Be nice to him or I might just have to take this one from you too." It was super uncomfortable for both me and Matt, so I texted her after to let her know that the comments weren't appreciated or appropriate. She told our mutual friends about it and it was split between her being wrong and them telling me I was overreacting. She eventually apologized but the jokes continued, just more subtle. It was easy to brush him off. She called me a few days ago begging us to come over. Apparently Connor had dumped her and she was having a mental breakdown in their apartment. We showed up, saw the place was a mess and told her to shower while we straightened up and ordered dinner. She calls for help from the shower. I go to help her and she's in her robe with it fully open, laying in the floor with her legs open. The second she sees me, she closes her robe and stands up like nothing happened. I didn't know what to think, but as the night went on it just got to be a lot. She wouldn't get dressed out her robe and kept almost exposing herself. It got a little late and she suggested I go home. I asked if she was okay with this. She said yes, so I began to pack up with Matt. She asked if Matt could stay with her and I told her if she felt that unsafe alone, she should come home with us. She restated that she just needed Matt and I snapped. I called her a desperate little BTCH and left shortly after with Matt. She was crying when we left but I didn't care anymore. She kept calling us, but we refused to go back. Yesterday we found out that she had a full meltdown after we left and didn't show up to work for 5 days. Her sister came to check on her and found the house an absolute mess. Millie told them we left her alone after she begged us to stay. I told our friends my side and most of them are saying I did the right thing. But her sister and some of our other friends are saying I'm an asshole for leaving her alone when she was clearly in crisis. Honestly, I'm beginning to think I should have just sucked it up and held my tongue. Am I the asshole though? Edit. Thank you to everyone who responded. This whole thing has been eye-opening and I feel so dumb for believing this woman ever cared about me. I thought her good could outshine the bad, but it's not enough. Ironically enough, I had a bit of a meltdown of my own today. I cried for a few hours after posting and reading everything and I apologized to Matt for keeping her in our lives. He forgave me and we called Millie and told her we were done. I dropped off all her belongings I had in my car, at my apartment this morning and blocked her on all social media. I told my friends the whole story, even with all the embarrassment I felt. Everyone but Millie's sister and friends were in agreement that she isn't who we thought she was at all. I also, with Matt's permission and encouragement, confronted Connor. I asked if he had done anything with Millie while we were together and he denied it. I don't believe him but I refuse to dwell. I'm moving on with my life. Thank you all so much for your help. Not the asshole at all. She is way out of line and inappropriate. In all honesty, I don't think this friendship is healthy and you should end it. She had every intention of trying to have sex with your current boyfriend. Does she need help? Probably. Are you responsible to get her that help at risk of your own mental health and relationships? Hell no. Her sister and her family need to take care of her. Knit you, and if her sister contacts you again, tell her her sister is her problem. ETA. Wow, that blew up. Thank you all so much. I hope the best for OP and hope they find people who value them and treat them right. She had a full meltdown after we left and didn't show up to work for 5 days. Clearly in crisis. Was she taken to a hospital? Evaluated by a mental health professional? Prescribed medication? My guess is none of those things. So, when she, or her sister, say that you left her during a full meltdown, this doesn't really mean anything. Millie is a petulant toddler who likes the idea of taking other people's things, as well as being the center of attention. When she didn't get what she wanted, she threw a tantrum like a child. It was appropriate for you to leave when you did, and I would avoid her, her sister, and all of your drama-loving friends who blame you for her absurd behavior. Not the asshole. Wow. Not the asshole. There are so many red flags from her behavior. You should have left her alone as soon as you walked into the shower and seen what you did. Never introduce her to, or leave her alone with, any guy you care about. Not the asshole. I mended my relationship with Millie as well. That's where you stepped off the path. OMG, not the asshole. She's got some serious issues. Stay away from her. I am shocked that you are still friends with this person. Holy hell. How many times does she have to betray you for you to realize she isn't your friend? You think you should have just sucked it up and held your tongue. After you walked in on her propped up naked on the bathroom floor. Which was quite obviously for your poor boyfriend. You're not the asshole for leaving or calling her desperate. This is a fact, no matter how harsh it sounds. YWBTA if you ever saw her again, or ever exposed Matt again to this kind of clown show. Not the asshole, and that is not your friend. Not the asshole. You realize that she probably got with Connor while you were still in a relationship with him. How are you still friends with her? You can't possibly trust her. How does she even have friends? Is this for real? Come on, you're not that dumb. But if this is, and you are, you're not the asshole. Absolutely not the asshole. You respected her when she got with your ex, but she is purposely disrespecting your current relationship as well as being inappropriate. No true friend would act like this. I would suggest having a sit-down discussion with another friend as mediator, but I doubt her behaviors will change. Time to ask yourself if she is the kind of friend you want around. But you are most certainly not the asshole for protecting your relationship from someone clearly intent on ruining it. Not the asshole. Your friend seems not only to be gunning for Matt, she sounds mentally unbalanced. Please consider staying away from her for now. She's turned this into a competition of some kind, and it's just weird. Not the asshole. Ditch the drama llama. She's not your friend. Not the asshole. Don't let her blame this on you. She was wildly inappropriate and she knows it. She's just trying to gaslight you. Not the asshole. She needs a therapist, not people to sexually harass. Not the asshole. Your friend, if you can call her that, is very inappropriate, and you didn't lie when you called her a desperate beeper chain. I also think she is jealous of you and is insecure, because of the age gap perhaps, and wants to feel validated by stealing your boyfriends. Honestly, she seems like she needs therapy and you do not owe her anything, and her sister and friends, who are on her side, can make their significant other stay with her if they care about her so much. Millie belongs to the streets, sis. Not the asshole. She didn't beg you to stay, she was begging for your boyfriend to stay while trying to expose herself to him. She was being a predator. I hate when people say, if a man did it. But really though, why do you think you owe her anything? Why do you think her behavior might have been appropriate in any way? Honestly, I don't see how you actually think you might be wrong. I call troll. Not the asshole. You are the asshole. Not for staying, but for even going to her apartment in the first place and putting Matt in that mess. You should have gone NC the minute she made those comments when you introduced your BF. No guy should have to endure this. Don't you have any friends other than Millie and her toxic bunch? If so, I would suggest moving on. Not the asshole. She sounds like she is effectively trying to be you, like something out of a psychological thriller movie. I would cut contact for your own safety. She's one of these girls who likes to try and take men from other girls to prove that she is so much better than them. Seen it 1,000 times. Their self-worth is tied up in their ability to get any man they want. She is not a friend. What she did was indecently exposed herself to a man she barely knows and make herself out to be a dickhead. Wouldn't be surprised if the 5 days out of work and mental breakdown were deliberate, so she has an excuse for her behavior if she was ever confronted for it. Oh, it wasn't my fault. I flashed my lady lips at your boyfriend op. I wasn't myself. I was really sick at the time, so you can't be angry or hold me accountable. Wow. What did I just read? In no way are you the asshole here, but your friend Millie is, big time. So are your friends who said you were overreacting. Whether she was in crisis or not, it doesn't excuse her behavior towards you and Matt. You came over to be a good friend and she tried to manipulate your kindness, disregarding your boundaries altogether. Yikes. Not the asshole. She tramples your boundaries. She isn't your friend. Not the asshole. She is clearly trying to steal your BF. It got a little late and she suggested I go home. I asked if she was okay with this. She said yes, so I began to pack up with Matt. She asked if Matt could stay with her and I told her if she felt that unsafe alone, she should come home with us. She restated that she just needed Matt. She is either a desperate person trying to steal your happiness, she is trying to find someone just like you and her ex and assumes it will be your BF. She tried to expose herself to him, tried to get you to leave and him to stay. She is toxic, stay away because that is some scary behavior. You are the asshole for staying friends with a viper. Kinda unrelated, but what did you and your ex break up over? Sounds like it isn't her first time trying to steal your boyfriend. Not the asshole, and why are you friends with her? I say this with all the kindness in the world. Stop being a doormat. This woman should not be in your life any longer. She should not feel comfortable calling you in a moment of crisis. If you want to be polite to her in a friend group, then do it, but block her in every other way. She was likely cheating with your ex. She's trying to do it again to you. You need to tell your friends that you're done, and that they can support her and see her try to sleep with their boyfriends. Tell them you don't hate her, but your friendship with her is over. Block the sister. Block anyone else who is trying to force you to stay in this toxic relationship. Chances are that they just don't want to deal with her. Not the asshole. I've seen a few comments saying, you should have known to leave when she, and I've got something to say. I think it's totally understandable that you wanted to forgive her for all the previous things. That just means you have empathy for your friends, and want to think the best of people. That said, absolutely tell this crazy woman that you won't talk to her until she gets some serious help. Also, tell your friends about the whole situation if you haven't already. I'm not endorsing gossip, but it's important that your mutual friends know about this behavior. OP is not the asshole, OBVI. Absolutely not the asshole. Do not bit your tongue for defending your right. And I guess it's a time to LC or NC with this ex-friend. Sorry hon, this definitely not a friend, BFF or anything. That's including other friends whose thoughts you are the asshole for thinking it's okay for a friend make a move on your BF. The audacity of Desperate B and her army of clowns. You don't need them. Not the asshole, that girl needs lots of therapy. Millie is not your friend. I repeat, Millie is not your friend. Run. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Personally, I'd stay away from her. How gross is she to joke about stealing BFS? Not something to brag about, especially when she clearly can't keep them. She's out of line, inappropriate, and she is desperate. Her sister is gonna side with her anyways and is possibly just as delusional. I wouldn't stay friends with those who sided with her either, knowing your side, and she laid there expecting your fella to do her while you're cleaning her apartment. Crackers. Not the asshole. Sounds like she's the reason your ex dumped you and she was trying it again. Not the asshole. What the fuck did I just read? You need to cut ties with her ASAP and all the friends that side with her because they basically condone that behavior as well. Not the asshole. Honestly, I could quote everything wrong with what she said and did, but I'd be quoting your whole post. Jesus, she has issues. I'm honestly not surprised she couldn't keep Connor around, if this is how she acts. She tried to fucking expose and force your boyfriend to have sex with her. Stay away. Not the asshole. She didn't have a meltdown, she threw a tantrum because you didn't give her what she wanted. She sounds like an incredibly toxic and manipulative person, and her intentions could not be more obvious if they roundhouse kicked you in the face. It's time to cut contact with her for good. After how she's treated you, you do not owe her a damn thing. Let her sister know that you are no longer available to deal with her bullshit, and that if it was truly a 5-day meltdown, she needs professional help, not one-on-one time with your boyfriend. Then block the both of them. Not the asshole. Needing dick is not a crisis. Particularly when owner of said dick is currently dating you, op. She wanted to steal another boyfriend of yours to mend her self-esteem. Also not a crisis. You, and Matt, did the right thing. So not the asshole. She wasn't in crisis. She was seeking attention from your boyfriend. I don't think you should care what others think. She showed her true colors with Connor, most likely started seeing him while you were dating him, and further showed her colors with the bathroom stunt. I would have done not nice things, to be honest. I do not care about being mature at that point. That is a no-go. My man is off limits. WTF? What type of hoe-ass behavior is that shit? She is absolutely disgusting for this. The anger in me right now. For you is unreal. You are not the R. Cut her off, she's nasty for that type of shit. Keep her away from your life. Not the asshole. Wow. What an absolute B. You have this large friend circle and she chooses you and your boyfriend to come and help her through this. She is not subtle at all and tries to steal your boyfriend right in front of you. She has some mental problems and seems to enjoy inflicting pain on you specifically. You should be wary of this, friend, and keep your distance. Not the asshole. You should have distanced yourself from her after she started making the inappropriate comments upon seeing Matt. I would say that she categorically does not meet the minimum requirements for friendship. She needs psychiatric help and you and Matt should firmly cut this woman off ASAP. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I don't know how you were able to maintain a friendship with her after she stole your boyfriend, because that's what happened. Then, after you forgave her and moved on, she made jokes about stealing the next one, while still with the last one. Those weren't jokes, she was revealing her intentions and passing them off as jokes. She also couldn't have been any more obvious of her intentions to try to seduce your boyfriend. She's not a friend. I don't know what's wrong with anyone in your circle that would defend her behavior. Maybe if she tries to steal their partners they'd understand. Not the asshole. She intentionally ruined things with her boyfriend, your ex, so she could move in on your new guy. She is toxic and skanky. Time to stop calling her and anyone blind enough to believe her your friend. Something tells me that Millie has developed a taste for stealing OP's boyfriends. Wouldn't be surprised at all if it turned out that Connor was cheating on OP with Millie, and now Millie is trying to snag Matt as well. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Single white female vibes. It's the name of a movie, so don't come at me. Famous Reddit saying, do not set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. You are definitely not the asshole, and you did the right thing by leaving. Not the asshole. Do you want a friend that exhibits these behaviors? You may need to rethink the friendship.